Hey everybody, Rouse W. Oker, Go Hills TV, powered by JBS, bringing more to the table. Time for our post-game tonight, where we get a Hy-Vee Warrior win, 91-61. As the Warriors defeat Dodge City, the Conquistadors, as we get set now for a few days on the road. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first of all, Coach Dewey, also joined by Jamal and Entezami, had a good night tonight. And Coach, your thoughts on the team and how your team played tonight?
I think that was as close to a full 40 minutes that we put together all year, and it was good to do that after the last couple of second halves we played, both this past weekend and even the weekends before. I thought we came out in the second half. We played together. We had some energy to us. We continued to guard as a team, and it led to transition points, and that kind of got our flow going a little bit, and we kind of started making some shots finally. It's good when you make shots. It makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah, but the three-point percentage was a little bit better tonight, about 42, I think.
40.
Yeah, so much better number there. But a number that I would think would have a smile on your face, just 7 turnovers.
Yeah, we did it.
That's single digit.
We did it. And I'll tell you, same thing I told these guys in the locker room. We only had 7 turnovers. We turned them over 25 times. Wow. That's 18 extra possessions we have a chance to score the ball that they do not. And you're going to win pretty much every game you walk into when you have 18 extra possessions than the other team does. Absolutely.
And now rebounding, though, that one will, we'll start with the high and then talk about that. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think it was lack of effort. Sometimes that's just the way it goes, right? But what did you see out there? They did out-rebound us a little bit tonight.
Yeah, they did. Number 0 was really hitting the glass hard. I thought Jamal actually played really hard and rebounded the ball well, not just tonight, but the last game as well versus Tyler. He's turned it up a notch on the defensive side of things, hitting the glass and rebounding and going after offensive ones as well. But yeah, it's disappointing. We got out-rebounded by 8, but at least that's, we watched some film. We'll see why, and we'll have some stuff to improve on.
Rebounding in general, with the amount of three-point shots that are taken, talk a little bit about the difference that maybe rebounding these days versus 20, 30 years ago when it was all about blocking out. It's a little bit different approach to rebounding now, right?
Yeah, we don't really call it blocking out. We call it hit and go get the ball. Hit and go rebound. and truly, you got to leave where you're standing, because normally this guy for sure is normally 4, 5, 6 feet around the basket, and he needs to go 10, 11, 12 feet out, hit his man, and that gives you way more space to rebound the ball. Early, the first couple of games, everybody's just turning and looking, and next thing you know, you get hit in the back. Now you're standing on the rim. You're not going to get a ball under the rim unless it's a make. So we've really been focusing in practice on finding our man, going and creating the contact and not letting the contact come to us, and then collapsing in on the ball and getting rebounds. So we'll see what happened. Obviously, there are a lot of shots missed. It's unfortunate we did get out rebounded, but something to work on for sure moving forward.
5 rebounds, 6 points for Jamal tonight. Jamal, a solid outing for you. Talk a little bit about how you feel things are going for you this season here in your sophomore campaign.
Well, I can't lie, the extra responsibility, at the start of the year, it got to me a little, I wasn't really used to it because, how last year was. But as I think the games went, I had a couple talks with the assistant coaches, Solo especially. He really helped me out, talking about my mentality and how I'm supposed to approach a game now. And I feel like since that talk happened, I've been able to ramp it up a little. And, I just go from here and improve every day.
Well, we have a lot of depth on this team. Obviously, a lot of guys can play. Talk a little bit from a player perspective on how you think the chemistry is coming together. We're just 5 games in. We got a long way to go.
We do.
But how do you feel about you've been through this before, the long season that it is. How do you feel about where the team's at with the chemistry right now?
Well, I feel like off the court, we love each other. We always with each other, playing around in the gym, just being with each other and just doing stuff together. I feel like we've made that like a focal point of doing stuff together instead of being like strays and, having our groups there and there. And I feel like that kind of over the time, since we've been here since July, has made us grow closer together. And I think we've seen it on the court, We know where people are on the court without really talking, which is, the next step is actually talking about it and it being planned. But I feel like compared to last year, we're further in our togetherness and doing stuff together. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, we put this one away with a 30-point win tonight. Coach has been talking about putting games away in the second half. What was the message that he gave in the locker room, and how much as a group were you guys thinking, man, we cannot let this end up being a close game tonight?
After last game where we did let it be a close game, I remember after Coach left, we stayed in the locker room for a while. It was like 30 minutes of us just talking about putting teams away and what we need to actually do. And I feel like we just had to keep the main thing. And we felt that, we always strayed away from what we were supposed to do as soon as the second half hit and we had a lead. And I feel like us just talking about it and, figuring things out together as a team after the coach was gone and then, actually doing it, I feel like that was a big step for us today.
20 for Will Casey tonight and 17 again now for Caden Nation, Coach. He really looks like he's starting to find his rhythm.
Yeah, about time he made a shot for us. And I took him out with about 3 minutes to go, and he probably would have kept on hitting shots. Once that kid gets in his zone, man, it's hard to guard. Just because he's got such a quick release. He's about 6'6". He can get a shot off on anybody, and it was good for him to see the ball go in, especially with this road stretch we got coming up. So hopefully he can carry that on the road with him.
He looks very smooth around the basket too. When he takes the ball to the hoop, he's got seems to have really good hands.
Yeah, he's just a gifted scorer. I mean, he's not just a three-point shooter. He can really, really score the basketball. And I probably got to do a better job of putting him in better positions around the basket to get some touches and get some easier looks for him. But he can really score that ball.
We get a nice win here tonight. Everybody played pretty well tonight, but now you're going to be challenged. 5 straight home games, but now it's going to be a while before we see the inside of this facility when you take off for Southern Idaho. So talk a little bit about the upcoming trip and when will the team take off and what are some of the challenges when you're going to be on the road for as long as we're going to be here before we come back to play a home game?
Taking care of your body is always the biggest challenge. Getting enough sleep, eating right, drinking enough water. I mean, anytime you're on buses and airplanes and you're going from this bus to the next bus and traveling and practicing, bodies, take care of your bodies, sleep, and eat right. So, I mean, we're going to leave. I told these guys tomorrow is strictly an academic day. Tomorrow's the last day of the semester. Everybody's going to make sure they're locked in, doing what they're supposed to do academically. This guy's already on top of his stuff. He's a straight-A student, so I don't have to worry about him. But the rest of the guys, they got to be on top of their work tomorrow and make sure they're getting everything turned in. We're going to leave tomorrow night at 11 p.m., and we're hitting the road for Kansas City. And we've got a 5 a.m. flight Thursday morning. We get into Boise, Idaho around 11 a.m. We're going to drive about an hour and a half to Twin Falls, probably grab something good to eat, and get some rest in the hotel, practice tomorrow night, and then we got Colorado Northwestern on Friday and CSI on Saturday.
When you get on a plane with a bunch of guys all 6 foot plus, some guys close to 7 foot, I gotta think the passengers on a plane when they see a basketball team come on are like, oh man, there's not gonna be much room for anybody else.
You hope the passengers are selfless, like we try to be, and they give up the exit rows
exactly
like this.
Get that leg out there.
That doesn't always happen. Sometimes there's a little old lady sitting there that just doesn't want to give it up. I've seen it before.
We were discussing the weather, so hopefully we don't run into any weather issues out there in Idaho, but we're looking forward to it. I can't wait. There's going to be some good basketball. We know that Friday night will be a challenge, and CSI is currently ranked number 16. We were talking about that earlier today. I mean, obviously playing them on their home court is going to be a big challenge. Yeah,
it'll be fun. It'll be a good challenge for us. It'll be our first kind of road swing. Obviously, we get a game before CSI to get a feel for the gym and the atmosphere and all that, so it'll be good for us. And we got to make sure we take care of Colorado Northwestern first. So that's kind of first on our plate. That's where our focus is, and we'll move on to CSI when the time comes.
All right, the Warriors get the Hy-Vee Warrior win tonight, 91-61 over Dodge City, Kansas. We go to 4-1, and we get set to hit the road for the Classic out in Southern Idaho. Big thanks to Jamal for stopping by.
Sure.
And Coach Dewey, we appreciate his time tonight in our post game. It's a Hy-Vee Warrior win on Go Hills TV, powered by JBS.
Go Warriors!